Hua Fung. We're delighted to have you.
Asya, thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
First of all, I need to know more about this prestigious belt, actually.
Yes, so this is the One World Championship belt. This is the pinnacle of combat sport and martial arts globally. Only our world champions who fight tooth and nail to get there can wear this belt. And then they fight tooth and nail to defend it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's a heavy belt. It's 26.4 pounds. Yeah,
Really
but our
high.
champions are strong. They have no problem carrying
They
it.
can handle it, of course. Why is one participating in this year's Web Summit?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Web Summit now has established itself as one of the major events, not just in the Middle East, but globally for executives and, business owners and government officials across technology, media, entertainment, sports, and culture to converge. And look, I think One Championship being the world's largest martial arts organization, this is highly relevant for us. It's crazy. Just in a couple of hours I've been here, I've run into so many people that I know from the U.S., from China, obviously from the Middle East. So this is really one of the global events that is worth coming to meet more people and obviously to reconnect with my partners in the region.
In a little over a decade, One Championship has become the world's largest martial art organization. How did you achieve this?
Yeah, look, I think it's a combination of a couple of big decisions we made and also luck. So it's a confluence of a few different things. I think the first thing I would say is that martial arts is from Asia. And Asia is more than half the world's population. We're talking about almost 5 billion people. That's 60% of the world, right? And it is the birthplace of martial arts. You go to every single Asian country and you will find martial arts, right? Obviously, you have different types of kung fu in China. You have, karate, judo, jiu-jitsu from Japan.
Yes.
You have Muay Thai from Thailand. Even India, that in pop culture, people don't necessarily think of as a martial arts country, has wrestling. It's very big in the north. So I think the first thing is that where we started, which is Asia, is the birthplace of martial arts. And we're not talking about just a few hundred or even tens of years of history. We're talking about, thousands of years of history. It's just that before we came along, nobody had really organized and commercialized it in a big way. So I think the foundation was very, very ripe, for us to grow a martial arts business. The second thing is, the company was founded in 2011. So we were born into the internet age compared to other global sports properties, like the NBA was born a long time ago. The EPL was born a long time ago. We were born into the internet,
Yes.
right? So that allowed us to make a big bet on digital media very early. And obviously, you've seen what's happened, right, in our world. Digital consumption is fast overtaking, right, broadcast, right, as one of the major mediums of consumption in many countries. So we made a big bet on digital. We kept a lot of our content readily available, meaning that we did a lot of deals without taking money so we could keep it non-exclusive. And that allowed, the content and the brand and the athletes to really, really grow organically, all around the world.
As we know, One has had two very successful Qatar events to date. Can we look forward to more events in Qatar or in the Middle East moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I think, first of all, I would say that Qatar has firmly, established itself as a country where major sporting events happen. Everyone knows about the FIFA World Cup. The FIBA, the Basketball World Cup, is going to happen next year, right, in 2027.
Yes.
And Qatar has hosted everything from, obviously these big events. We have Formula One, we have table tennis, we have athletics. So yes, Qatar is a great place to host sporting events. We're going to continue having events here. But we're also looking at the broader Middle East region as well. And, there will be some big announcements coming up, over the next 12 months.
Can we look forward to seeing more Middle Eastern athletes join the One roster as you continue to build in the region?
Yeah, for sure. I think, look, in the end, we are a global brand and our business is global, but local relevance is something that's very important to us. And obviously having local athletes from the region, especially coming through the grassroots, is a big thing for us. So we already have quite a few athletes from the greater MENA region. Our heavyweight kickboxing champion is from Turkey, for instance.
Wow.
And actually, even Middle East athletes have bases in the Middle East. Our one heavyweight MMA world champion, Rook, is from Senegal, but he trains out of Dubai. So there actually is a nice kernel of both Middle East and non-Middle East talent that are competing, fighting, and training out of the Middle East. And I think, we're going to see many, many more Middle East athletes to come.
Yes, we're waiting for actually. One operates differently from traditional combat sports organization. What really sets one apart?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is that we really are an umbrella platform for all martial arts. If you look at the two big global platforms in the world today, us and the UFC, and obviously they build a great business, they're very focused on mixed martial arts. Whereas we have mixed martial arts as one vertical, but we also have kickboxing, we have Muay Thai, we have submission grappling that encompasses wrestling and jiu-jitsu athletes. So we really cover many, many different martial arts. I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart. Obviously, the second thing is we are based in Asia. There haven't been that many global sports leagues or properties to come out of Asia. We're really the first. If you look at our broadcast and streaming footprint, we're talking about 190 plus countries, and we're averaging over 40 billion organic video views a year. So we're the only global property to be from Asia. The third thing is I would say we're very focused on values. If you think about success for us, it's not about staging the biggest fights. Of course that's important, and our fights are big, but in the end, it's about values, heroes, and stories. Okay, it's about the values of martial arts: integrity, humility, honor, respect, courage, discipline, and compassion. It's about the heroes that embody those values. Our martial artists, our athletes, and it's about telling their stories to the world. So that's really our focus.
Hua Fung, as you may know, combat sports have historically had a higher male viewership. What is one's fan demo, and how does one connect with such diverse global fan base?
Yeah, so I would say that, yes, traditionally martial arts has skewed a little bit more male, but you'd be surprised. We have a lot of female fans.
Really?
Depending on the survey, we've done surveys on this over the years at our events, online. We're talking about ratios 60-40, 65-35. So, about a third or more of our fan base actually is female. Yeah. And look, I think in the end, martial arts is not something that is gender dependent. Unlike American football, that is really a male sport, there are female and male martial artists. If you think about, once again, I go back to pop culture. Think about Michelle Yeoh, right? Crazy Rich Asians, She won an Oscar. Think about Zhang Ziyi, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. These are icons in pop culture. They're martial artists too.
Yes.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was a martial arts movie. Even closer to home, look at Qatar, right? Maram Fadnasi, right, a big Taekwondo athlete, represented Qatar both in the regional and the Asia stage. She's female, right? And she's one of the big faces of both Qatari and Middle East martial arts. So martial arts is actually not, and yes, you're right, traditionally there's a bit of a male bias, but I think what you will see today in how it's presented in modern days, if you look at our fan base, you look at everything that we're seeing in the martial arts world, female representation and female fan base is actually quite significant.
In terms of balance within one's roster, how does one feature, promote, and empower female athletes?
Yeah, so once again, female athletes in one's roster are a normal thing. We have a lot of female athletes. If you think about a lot of the big faces of our league, of our platform, they're female. Stamp Fairtex from Thailand. She used to be a 3-sport champion. She had this belt across mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. First time ever, 3-sport world champion. She's one of the big faces of the sport. When she fought in the US, she had a lot of people cheering for her. This was in Denver. She's female. Xiong Jingnan, a strawweight MMA champion, fighting for China. She's female. Jackie Bunchan from the US, Alicia Rodriguez from Brazil. A lot of the faces of our sport are female, but also notice that they come from different countries. So once again, one championship takes diversity very seriously, but because martial arts doesn't necessarily bias itself to one gender, we've been able to actually feature, empower, celebrate, and pay, competitively female athletes all over the world.
Okay. Yeah. My question is, how close is MA or mixed martial art to becoming an Olympic sport, and what's the benefit if that happens?
That's a great question. I think the first thing I would say is, if you look at what's happened with MMA, mixed martial arts, it's billions of dollars, right, of commercial value today. A lot of that is driven by what the UFC and ourselves have done, but clearly there's commercial appeal, right, in mixed martial arts. So I think the first thing I would say is if you can bring that commercial power, commercial engine to the Olympic movement, I think it'll benefit, the Olympics and the IOC. The IOC has been trying to figure out how to better commercialize, their suite of assets. And the challenge that the Olympics has is that in between every Olympic, you have like 4 years of nothing happening, right? Right? So anytime a sport that has a lot of commercial weight behind it can get involved in the Olympics, that's going to be a win for the Olympics. The other benefit, of course, is that it allows a lot of grassroots talent, to come up more rapidly and more efficiently, because many countries, as you know, are focused on the Olympics and are focused on winning Olympic medals. So when mixed martial arts, hopefully one day, does become an Olympic sport, I think that will create a lot of grassroots development opportunities for aspiring athletes to come up through the Olympic pipeline.
Can't wait to see it there.
Yeah, and the good news is that the Olympics obviously is for amateurs, but at the end of it, you're going to have both us and the UFC waiting to help them have professional careers as well.
Yes, of course.
Right. So we have that pathway today for them.
Okay, Hua Fung One has integrated technology to establish itself as a premier global martial arts organization. How has technology improved your success?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we were born into the digital age. We made a big bet very early on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Douyin, and all the digital mediums. Today, for young people, the mobile device is the first window of consumption, right? So I think from that perspective, clearly, technology has enabled us to grow a lot faster, than we would have grown if we were born 20, 30 years ago. On the back end, technology also allows us to create a lot of insights, data insights that allow us to then, engage with our fans more effectively, more efficiently through the right types of content on the right mediums and the right distribution platforms. And look, I think it also enables us to extend our brand into never before explored areas.
Yes.
So Web3 today is a thing. Obviously blockchain. We have a partnership with Sui, the Sui blockchain, and Animoca Brands. We have launched a mobile game, One Fight Arena, that is now hosted on the Sui blockchain. But beyond this, we're going to be doing a lot of other things with Sui that will see our brand featured in multiple places in the Web3 world.
Okay. Yeah. Looking ahead, where does one see the best opportunities for future growth?
I think growth, there's many ways to think about growth. The way I think about it is geographic expansion, but also product line expansion. So in terms of geography, obviously I'm here in the Middle East. Middle East is a priority market. We're going to be doing more and more here, both in terms of on-ground events, but also in terms, other types of content out there. Asia is our home base. We're continuing to double down on Asia. Today, more than 2/3 of our live programming is in Asia time zone. So be it North Asia, markets like Japan, or Southeast Asia, markets like Thailand, we're going to keep, growing there. And a lot of that is organic, because we've established a situation today where the brand is so big that it grows organically, through a lot of our short form and medium form content. The other side, of course, is product line extension. When the brand is established, what you can do then is you can actually launch merchandise, energy drinks. You can license the brand, right? So from a business model perspective, that's huge leverage. If you look at what Disney has done with their IP, or even big sports leagues, other sports leagues like the NBA, have done with their IP, you see their logos everywhere. You see them in movies. You see them. So I think product line extension. I talked a bit about our blockchain partnership with Sui. We're going to see a lot more of that in different types of products and services.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Asia. It's a pleasure. Thank you.